Okay, welcome back. This is video 2 of mission 3. So in the last video I covered how to use the research tools to add images and maybe do a little research. This video I'm going to show you how to edit some of the images to maybe look a little bit more appealing and fit a little bit better on your screen. So with research tools, again, you can find images. Sometimes you may want to change how those images appear in your screen. So let me bring this image in. And instead of having a bunch of different rectangles, maybe I'll grab this image twice here so we can do a couple different options. If your screen jumps over like this, like it did for me, that's just because your page kind of scrolled over. So if you just grab this slide bar, you can scroll it back if you want. Okay, so with this image, we can have it like this. Obviously, we can resize it, but also we can do some masking. And what that means, if I have this image selected, up here is the crop tool. Okay, so I can crop the image, but there's a little drop down next to it, and I can mask the image. Okay, so once I click on this, it will give me different options. So let's try it. Let's try a fun one here. So explosion 1. All right, so once I do that, then I can drag this image around. I may have to resize the image, and maybe this won't. That might not work for that image. It may work if I cropped it first. So let's try that. If I crop the image, I click on the crop tool, and I'm going to grab the little black handle there, and that will crop it. You see how this is kind of washed out now, showing you what the new image is going to look like once you crop it out. So I'm going to crop it, and I'll crop it here a little bit more. So I just want his head there. Okay, and then I can hit enter, and then that will crop it. So now we'll kind of just take that point out. All these skills we're going over right now may be pretty helpful on an upcoming project you have about your animal research project, your animal adaptations. You may be able to utilize some of these skills here with the research tools and some of the things I'm showing you now. So I have this image. I'm going to try to mask it. Let's try something else a little bit easier. Do a circle. Okay, and then I can resize if I want to. It just makes your slide look a little bit better instead of having a bunch of rectangles or squares on your screen. And I'm going to show you another trick here. So let's say we add a text box of some sort, and let's see, C3PO. All right, and obviously this text box doesn't look very good. If I just put it there, it's very hard to read. Okay, so we may want to add a background fill for that. And I suggest instead of always using the brightest and deepest colors, look at some of these lighter ones. I think they look pretty good, and they don't take away from the image too much. Okay, I'm going to resize our text box a little bit. All right, I can obviously tilt it. And one thing I wanted to show you is the grouping. Okay, so once I have my text box, and I may want to center that vertically, center it horizontally, and maybe I want to put a border around it. Once I have this part of my screen looking the way I want it, I'm going to grab this text box and put it over here on this one. Okay, if I need to move some things around, if I want to move this over, and then I have to move this as well, there's a couple different ways you can move things together. Okay, one is if I click down here in open space, if I click and drag, and even if I don't get the whole image, if I just drag it over the pieces I want, it will automatically select it. Okay, and then I can drag them together. So if I need to move items around on my slide, but I want these items to stay together, then I can select them both like that. Again, that's just click an open spot and drag over the items. Okay, if I wanted to select, a bunch of items, I can click here and drag all the way over here, and now I have all these things. Okay, and I can move them all together. If I have something like this with my text box and my image that I know I'm happy with and I want them to stay like that for a while, then what I can do is if I select both those things and I right click, I can choose to group those images. So now they kind of essentially work as one image. Okay, I don't have to select them each time I want to move them around. If I resize it, then they'll resize together as a group. Okay, so I don't have to change each one. Okay, so that is grouping an image. We covered how we could select multiple images by clicking and dragging. Okay, and that's going to be video 2. Make sure you take a look at the example. Okay, your slide does not have to look exactly like mine. You may include different information. It depends on what character you choose and what information you think may be important for that character, for people to understand a little bit more background about that character. Okay, good luck.